Okay, Mobb Deep's new album. I'm doing this due to popular demand. A lot of people in the comment section have asked me to review this album. So what I'm about to say is not going to be positive, right? So y'all asked for this, and I'm going to try to review this album with the context of, yo, Prodigy's been dead for years, RIP Prodigy. So I understand that there are complications and obstacles that Havoc and Alchemist as producers had to overcome to take these older Prodigy verses and build around them, build songs around them. So I'm reviewing this album and I'm going into this album. So I understand those parts, right? I do want to acknowledge that, but I'm not going to go easy on this album just because of those things, right? I'm going to review it just like I review every other album. I mean, that's what I do. If I didn't tell my truth, why the hell would y'all watch my channel? Y'all watch my channel because I tend to keep it real and I can explain why I feel how I feel about certain music, right? If I just was positive about everything, there was no reason to watch me, right? So boom. So what happens to me during this album is something that should not happen during an album, which is boredom. There are multiple points of this album where I was just bored. I was bored of the songs. I was bored of the hooks. The beats were cool. You know, I've definitely heard better from Alchemist, but I've definitely heard worse, and shout out to Havoc. So I was bored, especially in this, you know, these first 5-6 songs. Actually, on my first listen of this album, I cut the album off. I couldn't finish it. I don't even think I made it to track number 6. I did make it. It's with Nas and Georgia Smith, but I cut it out. I cut it off at track number 6. It's just not sounding good to me. I'm bored. And that's with the Clips feature, with the Nas feature, and with the Georgia Smith feature. Track number 1 I thought was fine. I thought track number 1 was dope, especially at the end where Prodigy's like, hey yo, Havoc, love you my guy, see you on the other side.
Hey yo H, good looking nigga, I love you. See you on the other side, my nigga.
Chilling moment, great moment. But the rest of the songs, I just found myself bored, which as someone who reviews albums, listens to albums, especially as content, that's not something you want to experience. Boredom is not something you want to experience. You would rather hear an album that's terrible than to listen to just an album that's mid that you get bored during, right? Because at least a terrible album is going to provide some sort of entertainment, you know, funny moments, or it's just going to piss you off. It's going to draw some emotion out of you, which this Mobb Deep album, Infinite, did not for me. I guess I'll start by saying I've never been big on Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep is not one of my favorite groups, you know. Mobb Deep is also before my time. You know, I was like a toddler when Mobb Deep first came out. Probably wasn't even born when they first came out. So when I finally started doing my trek with East Coast albums and really studying music and finding albums outside of my parents, outside of my siblings, discovering music for myself, I fell in love with East Coast 90s rap. Corey Mega, Nas, OC, J. Rue the Damager, Wu-Tang, and all the little Wu-Tang spin-off projects, Iron Man, Cuban Links, etc., Liquid Swords. Mobb Deep's The Infamous album, which everyone loves, was not one of the albums that I fell in love with. I might have heard Mobb Deep's The Infamous album, and some of y'all are gonna, you know, want to shoot me for saying this. I might have heard that album 3 or 4 times, if that. It's not one of the albums when I was doing my study of East Coast hip hop, you know, because we didn't grow up listening to this stuff. We grew up listening to E40, Too Short, Snoop, you know what I mean? The East Coast hip hop that I did listen to from my parents was like 80s East Coast, Run DMC, EPMD, etc. But the Infamous album, and that's like their best album, right? This is not something that I returned to. I just didn't find it that interesting. I thought the beats were interesting. I think the shook ones, you know, how Havoc did that sample, like. The sample was like, it's like almost undiscoverable. He flipped the hell out of that sample. So I give credit what credit's due. I like the song with Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest, right? And all that.
I used to be in love with this bitch named me and Jay. Don't fuck with her no more, now I fuck with Tango Ray.
Mobb Deep as a whole, and I feel this way about also the Infinite album, they are not engaging enough as MCs for me. Style-wise, and I know, and I actually think the Mobb Deep fans who are watching this, they may not agree with what I'm about to say, but they understand it, right? Prodigy, RIP. He's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste. And for me, the taste is not acquired. It has not been acquired for me. I don't find his style interesting.
Pushy, I get all the nookie. I get all the coochie and Emilio Pucci.
I don't find his style good. To me, it just comes across as average raps.
Slippery hoes, you know how that go. Slimy, you know what I mean for sure.
And an average delivery. Respectfully, right? It's just not for me. But I know for a lot of people, Prodigy is like the style bender. For some people, Prodigy style is his whole thing. Like that's what makes him dope. So I understand that, right? It's like when someone says, yo, I can't listen to Kendrick Lamar because I don't like his voice. I think you're missing out on some great music, but I understand why you would not like Kendrick's voice, right? I don't mind his voice. But similar with me and Prodigy, I don't like his style, right? It's not interesting enough. And Prodigy is a lead MC in this whole thing. And there are just some bars on this album, this Infinite album, that are absolutely atrocious.
Niggas saw for real, like key lime pie.
And I'm just gonna quote a couple of these bars because again, I'm never going to listen to this album again. I could not make it through this album. There's a bar that says, niggas soft for real, like key lime pie. That's a bar to y'all? Let me know in the comments. And this is an even more atrocious bar right here.
Niggas mad, put a cape on them. Now they super mad, we getting all this.
They mad, put a cape on them. Now they super mad. Because you know when superheroes put a cape on, they become superheroes. But they mad, so put a cape on them because they super mad. I can't get into this, right? Again, Mobb Deep, Havoc, Prodigy, they have never been engaging MCs to me. They're not interesting to me. This is part of the reason why I didn't want to review this Mobb Deep album, because I've heard Mobb Deep's best work and I've never been a fan of it. So why would I be a fan of this, right? But there's a part of me that can appreciate what Havoc and the Alchemist and Mass Appeal are doing, right? I think it's great that this album came out. People who like Mobb Deep will find value in this album. I'm not one of those people. But to find these, get these Prodigy verses and to combine it and to create something palatable. Because it's not like this album's trash, right? It's palatable. It's tolerable for me. I just don't want to, it's not something I'm gonna listen to, right? It's frustrating to me because it's mid. But there is something to be said about what the producers have done, creating songs and finding places and fitting these Prodigy verses and creating around them. That in itself is a feat. But I think a part of me also is a little frustrated because I have precedent for what a great Posthumous album sounds like from the East Coast. And that's a Tribe Called Quest's album. We got it from here. Thank you for your service. This is an album that came out after Phife Dawg of A Tribe Called Quest passed away. I don't like rating albums on a handicap scale. Like, oh, I'm gonna treat this album better, or I'm gonna talk about it better because it's posthumous. No, I'm gonna just rate it like I do other albums, right? So for me, that Tribe Called Quest album is just a great album, period. It's not just a great posthumous album. That Tribe Called Quest album, I think if I went back and reviewed that album, I would give it a perfect score. That's like my favorite Tribe Called Quest album. It stands against all other Tribe Called Quest albums. And it's a posthumous album due to Phife Dawg's, RIP Phife Dawg's, untimely death. That is just a perfect album, period. Not posthumous, perfect. So I have a precedent for what a great posthumous album sounds like. And the Conrad Tokyo joint with Kendrick Lamar.
Toleration for devastation, got a hunger for sin. Every nation abomination, let the coroner in.
Kendrick's spazzing on it, and then the way the album ends with Phife Dawg, yo.
Phife Dawg. You spit wicked every verse. Phife Dawg. Respect the journeyman first.
It's just, see that Tribe album, it's just, and I've said this 3 times already, but I have to say it again, because there's people who hasn't heard that album. Go listen to that album. It's a great album, period. But the fact that it's posthumous adds a little bit more to it because Q-Tip and the producers, you know, Ali Shaheed and Tribe Called Quest, they're doing things with Phife and his voice and his verses that reminds you it's posthumous. But you're not listening to the album like, oh, this is posthumous. Because a lot of posthumous albums just are not good, right? I say all that to say, not to make this a Tribe Called Quest album review. I say all that to say, I already have a precedent for what a perfect posthumous album from the East Coast sounds like. And this Mobb Deep album doesn't do it for me. Now, is this album terrible? No. Is it trash? No. And if I add the context of it being posthumous and Havoc and Alchemist having to do their thing to put this album together, being posthumous, we could say this is a great feat, right? But again, I'm not gonna grade these albums on handicaps. Like, oh, it's a posthumous album, so I'm gonna like treat it like, you know, special. No, I thought it was a boring album. I struggled to get through it. I listened to 6 songs, I cut the album off. It's funny because I was about to listen to this album going to the gym, but then the power at my gym went out. And so I'm just sitting in my car waiting for the power to come back on. And I chose to sit in silence rather than finish the album, tracks 7 through 15. I chose to sit in silence for 40 minutes while the power came back on, rather than complete the album. But again, I've never been big on Mobb Deep. So I don't think this album is going to turn me into a Mobb Deep fan. If you do like Mobb Deep, I think there are tracks on here for you. I don't think it's terrible. But even songs like track number 5, the M, the O, the B.
The D, the E, the E, the P is Mobb Deep.
It's very dry. It's very dry. And lastly, I don't think I believe Mobb Deep. I know there are people in the comments from New York, from the East Coast to vouch for them. Like, oh no, I grew up in Staten Island. They was really outside and all this. The things Mobb Deep raps about, I just simply don't believe it. It doesn't come across in their raps as believable to me.
You might get shot, you speak on me wrong, your head get whopped.
And it never has. Whether they've done it or not, it just doesn't present itself as believable.
Your wife is a dot, we ran a cute train on her. I woke her like a dog muzzle with a chain on her.
So that'll be fine. I listen to rappers who are not super authentic. But one of the main selling points of Mobb Deep is the content of what they rap about, right? I don't know if they're playing characters, but it's this whole, hey yo, we beat you the fuck up. I'll pull my gun out and shoot you. Fucking your bitch, pull my gun out and shoot you. Not only are they not believable to me, it's also just not an interesting way to rap about it. Niggas get beat the fuck up. Run on them, pull my gun up. Shoot them in the face, dog, done. I just don't, it's everything is a mismatch for me. The lyricism is a mismatch. The delivery is a mismatch. And then the content, what they're rapping about is a mismatch, and the way they're rapping about it is not interesting to me. Y'all will hear me say on this channel often, I can listen to these street raps, to these violent raps, but usually there has to be a quality about the music that is exceptional to where I'll sit through this. Either the rapper is super funny, like Draco the Ruler, he's got these, street raps, but he's funny. Or like Rock Marciano, he has these off the wall references like, whoa, did he just reference Port-au-Prince, Larry Bird, this and that? Or you have to be super lyrical. You know what I mean? Mobb Deep for me is none of that. It's a complete mismatch, and it always has been. Fans of Mobb Deep, you should like this album. I think fans of Mobb Deep, the fact that you're getting this album, you're getting more Prodigy verses, and it's given to you in an original way. Produced by Havoc, produced by Alchemist, who have been working with Mobb Deep, this is great for y'all, I think. But for me, and y'all know I'm not a huge fan of Mobb Deep, so I don't even know why y'all asked for this. But I appreciate you for watching the channel. But for me, this was never gonna work out for me. All right, so let me know what y'all think in the comments. Curse me out, if you will. Infinite, Mobb Deep, I don't know. I mean, I get it's like a 2.5 stars out of 5. It's mid. It's just an example of a listening experience that I don't want to have, which is listening to an album and experiencing boredom. You never want that to happen. So anyways, that's all I got for today. Top5rapwebsite.com. Peace.